Welcome, and thank you for opening this space for meditation in your day. As you bring your presence, heart and mind, body and soul to the sacrament of this sacred moment, to this time, and to this blessed and broken world, bring your worries too. My name is Joe Grant and I'm the Director of Programs at Just Faith Ministries. I'm also a developer of Engaging Spirituality, a small group journey that deepens our care and broadens our connections to God's wonderful, wounded world. An invitation for you. If you're like me, you come to this moment fully laden, weary or worried about so many things. You're here because you carry the weight of concern, because you're aware, because you have seen and heard the cries of God's children and the groaning of creation calling out to you. You're in touch because you've allowed these realities to touch you, and you cannot bypass suffering. So you feel a draw to go deeper, to hold these realities closer and not to run away. And you are here not simply because you care, but because you care too deeply to allow your life to be divided by distractions. Perhaps you come into this moment with a particular pain, a person or a place you know and love that is in trauma. Perhaps you're distressed by suffering in your own skin or among your own kin. Perhaps tragedy has visited you or darkness has tormented you and those in your care. Or perhaps as you look out through the lens of the nightly news, you are troubled by violations and desecrations enough to take your heart away. In these times of too much, a tempest of trivia and troubles constantly swirls around us. And how do we address the storms of life without worshipping the storm, without hiding or being swept away amid the debris of an unrooted or uprooted life? Perhaps out of necessity, we have learned to filter, sift, and tune out. So to function in the world of instant access, we become insects flitting from blossom to bloom, stopping only long enough until the next breezy image or story draws us away. Yet we can also be captivated and transfixed. We can let ourselves be led into byways and alleyways and choose to look and listen as we linger longer in the dark. But this takes some courage and discipline, and above all, the willingness to open the vastness within us, like switching the sign on the door from closed to open. When we come into full attentive presence, we are also placing a welcome mat at the door of our hearts, beckoning the wide world to come in and rest a while with us. By surrendering our full attention, we are making a deliberate and faithful decision to be still and still be in the storm. So, for these next 20 minutes, I invite you to hand over your heart's intention to God's troubled world as together we engage in the radical act of undivided presence. Resist the urge to be somewhere else. Push back and deliberately put away tasks or texts that will draw you away from being here and being now. Make your whole self available to the whole world by turning off whatever will divert your attention or allow you to avert your gaze. Breathing deeply helps. Sitting in an upright, attentive posture, hands upturned on your lap, can help us become more receptive to whatever graces, light or heavy, that await us today. And prayer only happens to the ready, those who are completely open and receptive to now. Hear this. Now rather than then. Here rather than there. This rather than that. You're worried about the world? There is a cost to caring. Like Jesus, welcoming the shepherdless masses on the lake shore, encountering the bereaved mother amid the mourners at Bethany, overlooking the sprawling city of Jerusalem in the Garden of Gethsemane, with the weeping women on the way to Golgotha, and finally crying out with complete abandon from the cross. If you are not deeply troubled, like Jesus, by widespread hunger and hopelessness in these times, then you are not yet awake. But we don't see what we don't see, and we don't see the half of it. So often we don't even stop to look. We overlook. We pass by, looking away or looking ahead, anxious only for what is next. But the less we overlook, the more present we become, and the harder it is to get things done. What or who might you have already overlooked on this blessed broken day, this seamless sacrament from sunrise to sunset, filled with the real presence of pain and possibility? The senses are the doorway to the soul. What is your sense of this moment? What and who are you sensible of, and what are you sensitive to? Jesus said the eye is the lamp of the body. So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. And if then the light in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? Our first task in approaching the burning sacrament of holy presence in the midst of this moment is to bare our souls in humility, like Moses before the bush. We open wide our eyes, we notice, we stop to see, we stoop to listen, for listening is the highest form of love. We turn our face to the unfolding mystery. And if we listen, we will know how to love. In any given moment, at every given place, so much is happening. Turmoil and triumphs, seen and unseen, unfurling in lives close by and beyond you. The people who care and care deeply are those who are arrested, stopped, speechless, and startled into awareness by the troubles of our times. How you present yourself, how you come before any moment or event, shapes who you become and how you respond. Whether you are watching the news, witnessing a trauma, noticing a neighbour, paying attention to fragile life in gardens and gutters, looking out for lost and lonely souls, just choosing to stop, to look, to listen. This is already a response to the needs and opportunities of these unfolding times. Reflect back on today. What caught your attention in the news of this day? What story, image, headline, or face surfaces? What sore spots cause you to wince or worry? Who crossed your path today? Who did you notice on your commute, on the street, at the store, through the window? Let the names and the faces and the stories resurface in your mind. Let the concerns of your day sink deeper down till you feel their weight within you. This is what it means to ponder, to feel the gravity within. And what about those lives you take for granted, the unseen, overlooked, invisible ones who grace your day unaware? Taking for granted is the opposite of being present, and being present is another word for contemplation. So, when you go about your business getting from here to there as quickly as you can, who do you bypass? What goes unnoticed? Unnoticed till life breaks over us, or we run headlong into it. So here is the cost, and this is the burden of caring. That by choosing to care, you unsheath your heart. You let life interrupt your plans, sometimes derail or detour you. You let go of any easy exemption from the suffering of others around you. You put down your stone and drop the accusation. You step away from finger pointing or quick fixing. You hold out an open heart. You listen, and you wait. This is what it takes to bear witness, recognizing that whatever and whoever is dear to our dear God is also dear to you and me. For we are all in some way responsible for each other, even and especially when you can do little to directly affect the outcome. Your choice to care changes you and leads you to deeper and broader questions and connections. Broadening connections. Surprise, suffering, surrender. These are gateways into sacred space and time. You are where your thoughts are, so be careful. Make sure your thoughts are where you want to be. When you choose to care, when you surrender yourself wholeheartedly to the present, to the crisis at hand, you open yourself to life. Life, all of it, the heights of beauty and the depths of despair. When you hold out your heart to the world like a begging bowl in a rainstorm, so quickly it fills, splashing, over brimming, soaking everything with tears and grace. For the only limit to the infinite mercy of our Maker, the only limit is our, yours and mine, limited capacity to receive. And it is you who sets the parameters of your life, the scale of your life, the depth of your love is bound and determined by the circumference of your care. So do not hope to walk through life with an unbroken heart. Sorrow and woe will surely find you, no matter how fast you move or how well you hide. For this is the only way you and I learn what it is to grow. It is love, love that stretches your spirit. And only love can attend to the dark graces of suffering and injustice. So bring love to suffering, and you have suffering love, which is another name for our surprising God. But beware, surprises aren't always pleasant, but they are always unexpected. Why then, when we widen our arms to embrace the world, must we make space for suffering? Because only when you suffer out of love can you come to know what God feels like. And this is prayer in the raw. So much joy, so much pain, so much mystery. This is what it means to be awake and engaged, waiting in the dark, your open heart a hospital for the weary world. How would you describe the hospitality of your heart? When was the last time you were surprised, or life took your breath away, or suffering took your heart away? When did you last show the depth of your care with a touch, with a glance, with a word, with a heartfelt prayer, with a listening heart? Sharing friendship, not stepping aside, but walking side by side with another. You and I are living in a time of crisis, an era of tremendous opportunity and great danger. And you can break the bonds of history by inhabiting another dimension of time, God's good time. A time of expectancy, of patient urgency, a time of trusting in the relentless mercy of God. The long arc of universal time we call Kairos, the appointed time. You move from crisis into God's time when you remember that you are not the light of the world, you are not the hope of the hopeless, and you are not alone. No matter where you find yourself, the darkness does not overcome you when you welcome the Holy Spirit of boundless compassion. So let's welcome that ever-present Spirit into this very moment with a breath. Come, Holy Spirit. Come, we are ready, open, waiting and wanting. Come, inspire us, disturb us, console us, stretch our tight hearts, widen our narrow minds. Come, Holy Spirit, come. Open our lives to the irreconcilable, expansive present, to all that's going on right now in this one sacred moment. Come, Spirit, come. Break into our lives, stir us from our complacency, wake us and open us, blow away our half-hearted answers to unattended questions, and blow our small minds with your mystery, and sweep away the debris of failure and neglect. Spirit of unexpected possibilities, come, surprise us. Sharpen our short-sightedness, heighten our sensitivity to life's incredible wonders and terrible wounds. Come, broaden our connections. Turn our attention beyond the bounds of our small lives. Free us from the frets and fears that limit the scope of your love. And let our lives be a lens through which your light shines across a dark ocean of suffering. Come, Holy Spirit. taking the world to heart. Pope Pius V prayed this: have mercy on your people and give us a breathing space in the midst of so many troubles. Breathe with me. Breathe with me a slow, deep breath as we practice this holding prayer. With each breath, open wide that endless space within you. And if it helps, rest a hand on your chest so you can feel the rhythm of your heart. Make of yourself a container to hold all the troubles and tremendous possibilities of this day. And invite in with each breath all the bruised and broken parts of your life. There's someone you have hurt, neglected, disappointed. There's someone who has hurt you or overlooked you. There are people who trouble you deeply, those who cause you to wince. There are places and realities you turn away from out of fear or out of shame. But let them in. Breathe a space for all this. For the children lost in our city streets, God's kids, our kids, trafficked and hungry. For the people trapped in nightmares of addiction or locked in prisons. For the tortured and forgotten souls that art also our kin. For you have so many brothers and so many sisters downtrodden, and so many beyond your reach. But let them come to you. Let them come into your heart center. Let them all into this shared, sacred, breathing space. And together, you and I, let us open up a space deep enough, wide enough to hold this whole wide world. With the Spirit breathing through us, let us hold this whole blessed and broken world together. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it till you are filled to overflowing. In the quiet, sit with all that is irreconcilable. No need to fix or answer. For this is deep mystery, a kind of quiet, compassionate communion. Just wait. Wait in the dark. Breathe. And stay open. Hold this world like a restless child squirming on your lap as you listen. Feel the weight within you. And now gently lift it up and hand it over. Commend the world to the Sacred Heart. Lord, have mercy. Christ, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. And in your solitude, silence self-righteousness with lament. For here is mystery at its deepest, that suffering is love's long shadow, that everything and everyone you love you will have to let go. And only in that final moment of release will you truly understand what it means to love. And it is this shared suffering that puts you and me in our place as children of a God who suffers with us. So when at last you let go in lament and cry out like a child, the child that you are, you will know the release from a need to control rather than love. And finally, grieving, you will fall into the dark heart of our Holy Maker. So you're worried about the world. Thank God. Thank God you are worried, for there is much to be concerned about. And together, or apart, we have access to a healing, connecting Spirit who wakes us up, tenders our hearts, and inspires us to reach out and care, and bring the whole world into our heart and centre, so that wherever you are, you can be the soul of that place. For you and I are always in a process of recovery, as you surrender to the moment and uncover the grace hidden within. And isn't it amazing to be here, alive, breathing at this point in time together? There is so much more happening in every here and now than you can ever imagine. But in solitude, you can also find solace. When you are world weary, let the consoling Spirit find you awake and wandering in a lonely place, in the quiet of your own life, in the secret of your centre. Welcome this unfolding moment, a moment of cries, of crises, and of choices. And know that this is God's time. This is our time. This is your time. Every breath, each step and struggle, losses and learnings that you have borne, made or taken, each of these has brought you up and carried you to this pivotal point, to this precious place in your life, to this moment in God's unfolding story, a story which began long, long before us, which will endure when at last even the memory of us is blown away in the dust. You were made for this time. This is your time to thrive. This critical moment calls out to you and asks for a choice. Your first choice is the decision whether, how, and to what shall you pay attention. How you enter this moment determines who you will be and how you will respond. For you will not find the Holy One in the individual events, not in catastrophe or earthquake, famine or flood, war or rumours of war, not in personal success or global failures, but rather you will encounter the face of our merciful Maker in the graceful, humble, heroic and very human healing responses to each of these crises. And in that heartfelt desire we each carry for healing and for peace. So let us together inhale deeply a peace that we and the world yearn to know. Breathe. Deep peace of the running wave. Deep peace of the shining stars. Deep peace of the quiet earth. Deep peace of the gentle night. Deep peace of the Son of Peace. Deep peace to the troubles of your soul and the terrors of our world. Thank you. Thank you for opening up this space for holding the world together. here are some questions for you to ponder, to take to heart. What do you do when you feel your back against a wall? When you witness the pain of others? When you can no longer be a bystander, yet still you feel helpless? Where do you find hope in dark places and dark times? Where do you go to hold the world in prayer? And who helps you? Everything you have found here is a resonance or a reflection of Engaging Spirituality, a small group program of Just Faith Ministries. Jesus promised that where 2 or 3 or more gather in his name, there would he be also. So there's one final recommendation for prayerfully tending to the wounds of the world. It is the most precious resource for bringing the healing spirit to all who are sorely afflicted. It is the gift we call community, a circle of caring companions. In a world like ours, in a time such as this, it is hard to watch and wait and listen and love and enter the kairos of God's unfolding presence and welcome the world into our hearts without the touchstone and support of caring, committed companions. The Engaging Spirituality process offers you the possibility for an intimate circle to shepherd you. If you would like to know more about Just Faith Ministries or Engaging Spirituality, visit our website. And for now, remember, we are all cradled in mystery that's beyond us. Your longing is already a deep prayer. May it connect you deeply to God's longing for the healing of our world, and live your day with an open, grateful heart. Thank you.